Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio, bringing you an update this morning on the forecast and what we can expect as we finally round out the work week and head into the upcoming weekend and look ahead to the potential for some stormy weather on Sunday, maybe even some severe weather. We'll get to that in just a second, but certainly looks like after some cold weather over the past couple days, things should be improving as we head over the next several days. Again, dealt with another round of snow this morning across the area, including here in Lincoln. 0.8 is what meteorologist Brad Anderson measured here at the 1011 studios. Officially, the number from the airport, this may be revised, was 0.2 of an inch, as that was as of 6 a.m. this morning. I certainly think there's probably a little bit more than 0.2 on the ground this morning, but that's something that we'll see if they revise, maybe update that a little bit. But again, a little bit more light snow early this morning made traffic a little bit slick on the way into work. But really, snow is not going to be an issue for us really for much, if not any, really of the next week. So we'll pull up our weather graphics here, and we'll start off with a look at our low temperatures this morning. Again, another very cold start to the day. We had lows into the single digits for the entire state. 2 degrees is what the thermometer fell down to here in Lincoln this morning, dropping all the way to about 10 to 15 degrees below zero for parts of north central Nebraska. Thedford, the coldest spot in the state, falling down to 13 degrees below zero this morning. 11 below in Valentine, 10 below in Ainsworth. So again, some very, very cold conditions for some parts of the state early this morning. Again, thankfully, this is kind of the bottom of the roller coaster as far as the temperatures are concerned, and we should see improving conditions as we head into the upcoming weekend. We do still have some wind chill alerts in effect for parts of northern and western Nebraska. These go until noon today. A wind chill warning for parts of north central Nebraska, kind of shaded in the darker gray or the lighter gray. In the lighter blue, those are wind chill advisories for parts of southwestern Nebraska up into the southern Sandhills, North Platte, Broken Bow, in those areas there. And again, those also run through noon today. But again, we've likely already seen our coldest conditions so far this morning, so that is at least some good news. Here's a live look at sky views from across the state. Again, right now in the capital city, a little bit of cloud cover out there. 6 degrees at the airport, also 6 degrees in Midtown Lincoln here at the station. Feels like 6 below, though, right now if you step outside. In York, again, they also had a little bit of a dusting of snow this morning. You can still see some snow on the streets there in downtown York. 5 degrees right now at the York airport, but feels like 4 degrees below zero. Grand Island and Hastings Kearney, again, all saw a little bit of snow this morning. Actually, a couple inches of snow in both Grand Island and Hastings. So again, you can see streets a little bit snow covered there out in central Nebraska. 3 degrees at the Grand Island airport, feels like 8 below with a northeast wind at 6 miles an hour. Not as much snow as you headed further to the west. North Platte, again, seeing some blue sky right now, but still very cold. 4 degrees is the actual air temperature. 10 below is the feels like temperature right now in North Platte. And there's a nice view from Scotts Bluff. A little bit of cloud cover, though. Again, tough to see the monument out there from the hospital there in Scotts Bluff. 1 degree the temperature, but feels like 20 degrees below zero. So again, a cold start for all of us across the state. If you look at those current temperatures, they're mainly in the single digits as of 10:30 this morning. Warmest is Falls City. They're at 15 degrees this morning. Winds are nowhere near as breezy as they've been the past couple days, but they are variable out of the north and northeast for the eastern half of the state, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. More out of the south and southeast as you head across the western half of the state at about 8 to 18 miles an hour. And those winds will be gradually swinging around to the south as we head through the day today. That's going to help warm up our temperatures as we head over the next couple days into the weekend. But even with the lighter winds, you factor those in. We have wind chills, again, below zero for most of the state. Coldest readings are in Valentine as well as Scotts Bluff at 20 degrees below zero. Satellite radar picture, again, variable cloudiness across the state. Again, there's a few snow showers still on the board as a little weak wave is moving through the area. We could maybe see a few flurries as we head over the next couple hours, but I think our chance for any accumulating snow is done. Again, after we picked up a little bit of snow during the overnight hours into very early this morning. We zoom out and look at a regional view. Overall, things are fairly quiet across the middle parts of the country. We run you through Skycast again through the day today. I think variable cloudiness, but should be fairly quiet and should be dry through the rest of the day outside of that small chance for a few flurries. As we head Friday into Saturday, again, the weather looks like it should be fairly quiet for us. Warming up to start the weekend, though, as those winds swing back around to the south, so that is welcome news for us. And then as we head into the day on Sunday, that's when things start to get a little bit interesting. There's a big upper level low that's going to slam into the California coast, and that's eventually going to spit itself out into the central plains. As it does so, going to be intensifying, drawing moisture northward from the Gulf of Mexico. And so there's going to be plenty of moisture in the atmosphere, enough instability that we're going to be talking about the potential for some thunderstorms as we head Sunday late afternoon into the evening hours. You can see these first develop across kind of parts of Kansas. If we look at the Skycast map here, and then eventually we're going to see that activity push into eastern Nebraska, central and eastern Nebraska, as we head towards Sunday night, with rain potentially lingering into the overnight hours Sunday into Monday of next week. And again, you can see on our Skycast here a lot of oranges and reds. There will be a potential for some severe weather with these thunderstorms, and potentially even into far southeastern Nebraska as well. So something to keep an eye on. It's our next system that we have coming through, our next weather maker. Also will bring in the potential for some heavy rain as well. So this is the look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for the day on Sunday. Again, I talked about this yesterday. The biggest threat will be down to our south across parts of Kansas into Oklahoma and Texas. But we do have that marginal risk extending all the way into far south central, southeastern Nebraska into Lancaster County. Again, the marginal risk means that some isolated severe thunderstorms are possible. We'll likely see the threat for more scattered severe thunderstorms further to our south into parts of Kansas. That general risk for some at least thunder extends all the way into parts of southern South Dakota into western Iowa. So again, much of central and eastern Nebraska has that chance for at least some thunderstorms as we head into Sunday evening and Sunday night, with that low-end threat for maybe a few isolated severe thunderstorms into far southern and southeastern Nebraska. Large hail, damaging winds, and some locally heavy rain would be your primary threats. Also, if we look at the flash flood threat, again, kind of consider this to be kind of like the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for severe weather. This is an outlook from the Weather Service for flash flood threats. And again, there is at least a low-end threat for some flash flooding across parts of eastern Nebraska for the day on your Sunday into Sunday night. Locally heavy rain with some of these thunderstorms are certainly going to be possible. We could see maybe some of those thunderstorms produce maybe an inch or two of rainfall as they move through the area. So again, kind of tis the season, getting towards meteorological spring, which starts next week. So certainly this isn't surprising or out of the question this time of year, but something to keep an eye on. Here's a look at the 5-day precipitation potential. And again, really all of this over the next 5 days. This is going to be that Sunday night into Monday time frame. And again, you can see kind of the eastern quarter of the state in those blue colors. We're looking at maybe half an inch to inch and a half, 2 inches of rain being possible. Lincoln and Omaha, the Lincoln and Omaha metros are included in that. Those areas more in green. We're talking maybe a tenth, quarter to a half an inch of moisture being possible as that system moves through. So again, Saturday looks good. Probably the pick day of the weekend. Sunday, most of Sunday probably looks okay as well. It will be maybe a bit breezy as those south winds pull that Gulf moisture northward. But the weekend overall, again, does look pretty decent. It's Sunday evening into the day on Monday that these thunderstorms and potentially just rain showers will be possible. As far as temperatures are concerned, highs today, we're looking at another cold day, well below average temperatures. We should be in the low to mid 40s for our normal high temperatures for late February. Today we're talking mid-teens to maybe mid and upper 20s. Coldest readings in north central and northeastern Nebraska and Lincoln. We're going to shoot for 23 degrees today, same for Grand Island, Hastings, and Kearney, and 24 in North Platte. Low temperatures tonight also staying well below normal and going to be another cold night for us. Upper single digits and lower teens for lows tonight. Highs on Saturday do take a step forward, though, still a little bit cooler in the northern parts of the state where they have still some of the thicker snow that's on the ground. But we're going to generally generally be looking at upper 30s to upper 40s from north to south across the state. In Lincoln, we're going to go right for 50 degrees for the day on Saturday. Sunday morning lows, a little bit more seasonal for us, mid-20s for a lot of us. And then Sunday afternoon highs, especially for the southern tier of the state. Going to be pretty mild, especially for late February standards. We're talking mid and upper 50s to even low to mid 60s being possible. Kind of I-80 and then further to the south, around 62 for Imperial and McCook, 64 in Hebron. We have 62 in Beatrice, 61 in Falls City, 57 for a high for Lincoln, as well as Grand Island, upper 40s for North Platte for the day on Sunday. So again, some very mild weather on Sunday. That's into the afternoon, but then into the evening is when we see that threat for some thunderstorms, as well as heavy rain and maybe some severe weather. Low temperatures then on Monday, staying above freezing. So again, the threat for any snow with this system is pretty minimal. As far as the 7-day forecast in Lincoln, again, cold today with that outside chance for maybe a few lingering flurries. Warmer for the weekend, breezy to windy conditions expected Sunday into Monday as that system passes through the area. But then past that system, temperatures generally look to stay above average in the low 50s for Tuesday, Wednesday, falling a little bit towards late next week back to the low to mid 40s for the day on Thursday. Some small chances for moisture entering the forecast for the day on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday is March 1st, statehood day for us here in Nebraska. Also the first day of meteorological spring for us. So again, kind of just a sign of the times, getting a little bit closer. If we look at kind of the 10-day forecast for select cities across the state, again, a lot of numbers on here, I know that, but kind of pick out your location and you can kind of read through the numbers a little bit. But again, in Lincoln, generally staying mild over the next 10 days. Easily, we can see that Friday, today is going to be the coldest day for really everyone across the state over the next 10 days. Things warm up for the weekend. Kind of towards the middle part of the week next week, we do see a little bit of a brief cool down, but then late next week and even into next weekend, again, the first weekend in March, the weather does look like it should stay fairly mild for us. So, yeah, that is some good news. Our cold snap we've been dealing with here the past couple days does look like it should be winding down and coming to an end. So, but the main takeaway, the main thing to look for as we head over the next couple days is that threat for severe weather into the day on Sunday night, and that threat for potentially some heavy rain as well. So, again, I'm meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Appreciate everyone joining in. Again, this is our brand new space. We'll continue to send out news, weather, and sports updates on this platform. Again, streaming live right now on YouTube, as well as on our live stream on 1011now.com, which you can access from our news and weather app. But again, if I would highly encourage everyone to make sure they go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@1011_news. We'll be live on there likely several times a day, and we'll be back on here live again later this afternoon. Press conference from the University of Nebraska set to announce a special announcement later this afternoon. That's going to be at 1:30, and so we'll be live covering that and streaming that here on our channels and have a little bit of commentary afterwards. But thanks everyone for joining in. Hope everyone has a good Friday and certainly has a good weekend, especially with some of that warmer weather coming up over the next couple days.